last Saturday in Boston and lost 4-3. This game underway. Bradley, Lehman, Anderson for the Maple Leafs. Score! Right off the bat, 5 seconds, Mogilny. And what a way to start a hockey game for these Buffalo hockey players and fans.
And today we're here to look at highlights from Alexander Mogilny, formerly known as Alexander the Great, before Alexander Ovechkin.
End of his Kings, and play is underway. Taken by Mogilny in center. He'll work it in off the boards into the Quebec zone. Going to the far side is Turgeon. Get the back in now, behind the net. They try to work it in front. The shot is scored! Mogilny! Mogilny on his first shift in the National Hockey League has given the Buffalo Sabres a 1-0 lead over the Quebec Nordiques.
Alex Mogilny scored just 20 seconds into his first NHL shift. In comparison, Mario Lemieux's first goal, which he also scored on his first shift, doesn't even register in the top 11 fastest goals on first shifts ever.
And the first Russian to defect to the United States that really helped pave the way for more Russians to come over and play in the National Hockey League.
D'angle pour pouvoir marquer. Mogilny maintenant avec une belle feinte. Mogilny le tir et le but! Wow, quel but! Aïe aïe aïe! Could not control Mogilny, and no one else could either. Here's Mogilny over to get it. Mogilny, nice move there.
The Sabres leading 4-1 still in the first. Alexander Mogilny to Pat LaFontaine, scores his second goal.
Person fires it into the jib zone. Around now, it's picked up by Mogilny. Mogilny goes right through, cuts out the net to save by Habervall. Mogilny with it again. Works it over to Ruby. Shot is good.
To it. Boom, and Mogilny with great speed was spun around, pass across, here's a chance for Himmelad. Now he feeds it, a score! Dale Howardchuk tucks it in.
Finally!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to welcome you from beautiful city of Khabarovsk in eastern Russia. Taking part in this exciting event with another inductees, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, not just for this honor, but for the incredible journey that brought me here. You know, I don't like early wake-up calls, but when I saw 416 area code came up on my phone at 3 in the morning, and the beautiful voice that I wanted to hear for a long time said, "Hello, Alex," then I knew something special happened. So I got so excited I couldn't go back to bed. I thought I'll go make myself a cup of coffee or pour myself a nice chilled shot of Russian vodka. Take a guess what I did. You're exactly right. That beautiful aroma of freshly brewed Arabica, it wasn't an option for me in that moment.
I honestly, don't remember much about Mogilny till probably around his, third or fourth season. I mean, I'd heard about him, but I was pretty young. But by 1991-92, which is Mogilny's third season, Pavel Bure, of course, is playing for the Vancouver Canucks. He was the final part of the famous Fedorov-Mogilny-Bure line to play in the NHL. And that was often brought up and still to this day is.
After it is Pavel Bure. He's the speedy 17-year-old. For Mogilny, a quick shot.
Do it.
Bure has the puck for the Soviets. He was trying to hit Mogilny in full flight in the center ice area. Mogilny behind his back to Fedorov, going in. Morschauser's got him. Bure comes wheeling out of his zone, gets away from Ricci. Bure can really fly, goes back of the net to Mogilny. Back to Bure. Mogilny at the side of the circle, back to the line. Godinuk over to the other side for Sorokin. Off the boards for Mogilny. Back to the point to Godinuk. He takes a shot, deflected, score! Sorokin. Long lead pass for Bure. Fedorov going for the net. There's the shot. And Fedorov deflected it wide. Mogilny to Fedorov. Fedorov back to Mogilny. Scores!
By the next season, Mogilny really caught fire, as did Bure, but Mogilny more so, getting 76 goals in only 77 games. And if you look, you'll see a lot of highlights here from that time.
With the head slide. This puck is deflected, but who deflects it as a shot comes in from the middle of the ice, and it's Mogilny.
I'll tell you, Patty LaFontaine shares a lot of stories about that year that he got to play with him in Buffalo. And he said he had never seen a player that he thought could get to that level of potentially scoring 70 goals. And that year he ended up getting 76. And those two together may have been the best dynamic pair. That somewhat gets overrated because you think of a few different pairs.
Alexander Mogilny's most famous nickname is Alexander the Great. He was also widely referred to by his teammates and fans as Elmo, like the red little doll.
The year, then it's Elmo, and he beats Billington to put the Sabres up 2-0. Mogilny's got 14 on the year.
Yeah, congrats to Elmo. I remember playing with him as a young player. I remember him telling me one time, "I'll never have to train legs again," because that's how much work I did growing up and how much conditioning we did. I'll never have to train legs again, ever in my life. That's how much work they put in that old Eastern Bloc and that old Russian system, and just the volume and the intensity and the workouts. And as you said, that's why you guys are saying, you see he jumped off the page when you watched him. He was so dynamic. And you're right, him and the great Patty LaFontaine as a combo in Buffalo. And he had a fear of flying early in his career. He used to drive, I don't think a lot of people know this, on the road.
And Alexander Mogilny, a notorious bad flyer, found out ahead of time that there would be heavy turbulence on the Sabres' flight north. Mogilny said no thanks, got off the plane, rented a car, and drove to the arena.
He would take a limo from Buffalo to Washington, Buffalo, New York to Hartford, Buffalo to Detroit. So you saw the legs and how he played. Imagine if he was actually on the team plane and rested, which he didn't get into until later in his career. So Almo, he was the man. He was a great guy. I loved playing with him. He was a lot of fun, good personality, upbeat, and just an absolute wizard on the ice.
One of 30 players in that triple gold club.
Yeah.
He has it at center. Now steps it over the line. Here's Mogilny getting it in goal. Alexander Mogilny gets the hat trick and his 30th goal of the season.
And the crowd is going wild here at the ice. Look at this incredible move.
this kid. He's an excellent goal scorer. He will really give you your money's worth.
Mogilny back in. He scores! What a goal by Mogilny!
Now a chance for Ronning as he gets a shot away. The rebound, they score!
Mogilny moving in. Score! Oh my! Blazing speed by Alexander Mogilny.
There's somebody coming in on you. You don't want it to be Alexander Mogilny.
Buffalo trades Alexander Mogilny and Buffalo's 5th-round pick in 1995 to Vancouver in exchange for Vancouver's 1st-round pick in the 1995 entry draft and players Mike Pekka and Mike Wilson.
So once again, you hear that trade being confirmed by the NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman. Not a total shocker, knowing that Buffalo does have to trim the payroll.
No, but it could be an impact trade for the Vancouver Canucks. They now have Alexander Mogilny and Pavel Bure. When those two players have their minds on the game of hockey and are focused on playing well, they can be as dynamic and as exciting as anybody in the National Hockey League.
Here's Mogilny with Otsuda. Pulls up, shoots, scores!
When he came over, it was so great. Like, now you have Bure and Mogilny, who, although were part of the same line before, now they have both become right wingers. They tried that line, it didn't really work. Then they went back to it, still early in the 95-96 season, and it seemed to be working for a couple games, and all of a sudden Bure got the knee injury, so he was gone for the season. And gradually you started to look at Mogilny as this replacement for Bure. I mean, you miss Bure, you're a Canucks fan, Mogilny's a new guy, but he's filling the spot and the goal production very well.
Answer back a short time later. Watch Trevor Linden goes to the net, takes out Hextall. Mogilny puts the puck in. No call from Paul Dvorsky. He said Linden was pushed in. Hextall not too happy. Hitting in the middle period as well. Cliff Ronning gets rubbed out by Chris Therien, but Ronning goes right back at the Flyers defenseman. And then look at Russ Courtnall off the top rope. Mean Gene Okerlund would have loved that one. But lo and behold, it worked. Mogilny to Jelinek. And with 2 minutes to go, the Canucks were down by just 1.
But Courtnall gets it back to Lume. The shot deflected and a skate save. Hextall. A coin a shot. It's in front. Mogilny scores! He scores! 5 seconds remain. The game is tied.
And is playing without a glove. Mogilny picked it up and dumped it in front of his own net. Back comes Kuchera, the pass to center, up to Mogilny. In over the line, watch Mogilny, crooted in front. Oh, and Hasek is there to handle that one.
No one is better in the league than Alex Mogilny on the rush.
And trucks it behind the net, it's gunned around on the boards. Huddy can't get it, it comes to center ice. Here's a break for Mogilny. Going right on goal, Mogilny scores! A shorthanded goal by Alex Mogilny as he picks up the loose puck with a clean clip breakaway and catches it. And the Vancouver Canucks get on the board. Galley drops it off for Barnaby. Barnaby overskates the puck, then runs into Mogilny. Mogilny kicks it free. Here's Mogilny, the shot.
Cliff, who was the easiest player to play with?
Okay, easiest player. I play with a lot of good players. Adam Oates was a great player, easy to play with. But for me, Alexander Mogilny was a player, was a dream for someone like myself, because I always wanted to play with a guy that liked to crisscross and create space, and it gives you more of an opportunity when you have someone that is so skilled. Mogilny was a guy, if he had someone work with him, he'd create 2-on-1s all over the place, and I would have to say definitely him.
Center ice, Mogilny in over the line with Ronning. Mogilny to Ronning, he scores! And Alexander Mogilny comes back to haunt the Buffalo Sabres, first by scoring shorthanded, and then by setting up his line mate Cliff Ronning to make it 2-0.
Inches away. Panthers aren't getting the good inches.
Here's Ronning away from Jovanovski. Ronning slides it in. Mogilny scores!
Alexander Mogilny will burn you if you give him any kind of an opportunity.
You wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise, but he had stayed in Los Angeles.
Mogilny giving the puck to Ronning. Here he is, right at front. He shoots and scores. Cliff Ronning.
They still had enough. Big team.
Mogilny give and go with Ronning. Mogilny far side. Oh, what a chance for Roman Otsuda. He's had about 4 tonight, but they score.
The Sharks now trail by 3.
Running at center ice. Moves it ahead for McGillney, going in alone. Scores! Softly ahead to Poshak. He's taken out of the play by O'Coin. Now moved ahead to Tikkanen for McGillney. McGillney going in. Backhand
shot. You can see this. The goaltender comes over, makes a good play, and yet the perfect shot. And now Darren Pupa, it's either a shutout or a hook for Pupa lately. He's got
Tuda knocked it back for Hedeken. Picked up now by Tucker into the slot area, broken up, and back comes running for Oxida. McGillney takes the drop pass, shoots, score!
Numbers aren't going to be updated, Mike, obviously. No. The goals are coming too fast, but this is coming into the game tonight. Alexander Mogilny leading the National Hockey League in terms of percentage of goals scored that aren't power play goals. Non-power play goals, either even strength or shorthanded goals, 83%. Messier behind him at 70%, followed by Yager. Mario Lemieux at 55%. He has a ton of power play goals.
When he scores 2 or more points, the Canucks go 14-3-5. On the other side of the coin, here we got Winnipeg. We've got a superstar, too, that's not playing like a superstar. Alexei Zamnov only has 20 goals. Winnipeg Jets are in a slump. The guy to lead them out of the slump is Zamnov. He's got to get his head into the game. He's got the skills, but he's got to want to play the game a little bit more. Here we'll see the 2 Russians talking Russian, and Zamnov saying they're not paying me enough in Winnipeg. McGillney's saying you're not working hard enough. If you worked harder, they would pay you a lot more money. And I will see Zamnov looks down at the ground, says, you know what, I don't like this conversation. You're starting to sound like John Paddock.
After the first shifts of the game, Lume's all tied up. Usarov couldn't get it out. Here's McGillney walking in front. Alexander Mogilny scores! What a goal by Mogilny! And the Canucks have tied it again.
across the crease.
Mogilny, nice pass to Linden. Here's a chance in front. And a great save by Patrick Roy. No, it went in the net. Jelena redirecting it. And it's in.
Alexander Mogilny to Trevor Linden. And Jelena goes to the net. Perfect pass by Trevor Linden. Jelena tips it. It's off Patrick Roy's stick.
Sakic and Mogilny battling along the boards. And the battle continues. And Mogilny wards off. There's a shot in front. Lume running loose. They score! Gino Ojic bouncing on the loose puck.
Gino's second of the night.
During this playoff series, penalty killing. Now Mogilny over to Linden. Back it comes to Mogilny. Tikkanen shoots. They score!
Canucks with very good determination on this play. Mogilny to Tikkanen, the quick wrist shot. Patrick Roy.
Linden probably the best face-off man in the series so far. Mogilny takes a look. Lume creeping in, scores! What a pass!
Lume comes in, stick on the ice, and look at this. Right on the tape.
Martinez yelling at Mogilny was loose on the far side of the ice. There's Kucherov. Taken out by Mogilny. And Stefaniel will turn. So the Canucks still playing physical. Mogilny almost stole it there. Now behind the net. Watched by Gooser. The Canucks in their victory over the Calgary Flames to claim a playoff berth. Fill the voids when injuries start to mount. Here's Mogilny after the puck. Trying to get Vancouver and Kamensky, and now there's two people who don't understand the Barrage Trois nickname.
It's the side of the net.
Shots are deceiving in this period. 8-3 Colorado. It feels a lot more lopsided. Here's Tikkanen scores! Esa Tikkanen left uncovered. 4 minutes of a power play. They score! Trevor Linden. Esa Tikkanen. Back to Mogilny, in low, Naslund scores!
Do you remember when Alex Mogilny went to Buffalo at the end of the tournament?
Yes, of course.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
No.
So Alexander Mogilny was the first to defect from Russia, or the Soviet Union, to play in the NHL. Although he wasn't the first actually to play there, Sergei Pryakin was, for the Calgary Flames in the late part of the 1988-89 season. Kryakin was the first that was given permission by the Soviets to go over to America to play. However, there was one Russian who played for the Los Angeles Kings in '83 who had married a girl from Switzerland, then was granted permission to join his wife in the United States. In 1982, he was drafted by the Los Angeles Kings and played 3 games and scored a goal in 1983. Jerry Meehan, the general manager of the Buffalo Sabres, and Don Luce, the Sabres director of player development, helped Mogilny become the first player to defect.
In '88, I went over to Moscow for the World Junior Championships. Alex was playing at that time, and that's where we first saw him. You know, he was a dominant player.
At that point, no hockey player had ever defected from the Soviet Union.
Mogilny into the corner. Trying to make a play, shoots, scores! The youngster Mogilny ties this game up for the Soviet Union.
Niin kuin myöskin neuvostoliittolaiset. Siellä nyt vuorossa joukkueen nuorin, kenties koko turnauksen nuorin.
I told some people that I thought he was probably the best player in the world in that draft that year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had no question about it. I think the biggest thing was that, you know, he was playing in Russia.
All the NHL scouts here are certainly drooling over Mogilny, but don't think he's going to be picked by anybody in June.
January 4th, 1989, Soviet Union defeated Canada 7-2 in the final day of the round robin at the 1989 World Junior Ice Hockey Championships held in Anchorage, Alaska.
Rink wide for Mogilny. Mogilny with a shot, he scores! He's the puck. He'll go into the corner on occasion to grab that puck. Mogilny, excellent move! He scores! Oh, what a beautiful move by Mogilny. We said at the start of the game, this young man, the most talked about performer here, evidence there of why we spoke that way.
Гутаров, это Яшин, Могильный, Федоров, бросок, гол, дебютант сборной Советского Союза, Федоров.
5 months later, Mogilny and the Soviets captured the 1989 World Championship. The very next day, Don received an unexpected phone call that would change the future of our organization.
I got a call saying that Alex wanted to come out and come over and play in North America.
So you call me, I call Seymour Knox, the owner, and we agree that it's worth a flight to Stockholm to find out if this is the real thing.
On May 3rd, 1989, they landed in Stockholm, Sweden. They wanted to meet Mogilny and his representatives. I guess one of the representatives of Mogilny thought they were being followed by probably Soviet KGB members, so they didn't want to meet at the hotel, so they went to some shopping mall, public space, to meet. Sergei, the representative, and Mogilny met them and jumped into their car. So they had to go to this U.S. embassy and get some paperwork. Mogilny, he made some kind of phone call. He couldn't phone his mom because the phone number had been cut off, and he had talked to some operator before, and then this time the operator was different, and he suspected it was the Russians watching him, and they might be watching the embassy. They had to keep switching hotels because they were worried, the KGB members were following them. The 1989 Soviet team were all questioned about Mogilny's whereabouts. After some time, the plane left back for the Soviet Union without Mogilny, who's now being treated as a deserter. On May the 5th, they got to the airport, and they got through okay on a plane to the United States. But somewhere there, they picked up a newspaper that had listed Mogilny as missing, and also they had Jerry Meehan's name, and they also had some of the hotels they had stayed in. So they knew these guys were with Mogilny, and they must have had some people watching them that figured this out.
I gave it a try. I said, I can't go back, and it's no future in this country anymore for me. I said, I gotta try it, because somebody gotta be first. Somebody gotta try it. And, well, as soon as I said it, and as soon as I just said, yes, I'm going, and life just began. It was great. They expect to be us, like, next Krutov, Makarov, Larionov line, like, replace them, but now we're here, and I wish we could play together in NHL, but it's a business, do what you gotta do.
What Mogilny had to do was play hockey in the NHL, and so in the fall of 1989, the 20-year-old right wing began his career in Buffalo.
Going to the far side is Turgeon. Gets it back in now, behind the net. They try to work it in front. The shot is scored!
Totally different. Everything's different. And you just can't imagine how I felt.
Well, I see a more mature person. I see a person who's very relaxed.
I see a person who trusts his teammates and the coaching staff and people surrounding him, and he felt a little uncomfortable. I think that was his biggest problem coming from the Soviet Union.
The Zezel, Sacco, Pearson line against LaFontaine, and so far he's been able to do that.
Mogilny trying to split the defenseman. Got the puck in front to Potvin, but quick to clear it up. As the speedster, Mogilny.
When he played for the Winnipeg Jets.
Mogilny across the line. Anderchuk to Mogilny. Works it to the left side of Potvin. They score! What a goal scored by Alexander Mogilny. Now, I don't know if that was planned, but works it off the back. Well, Felix Potvin.
Well, the second part of that wasn't planned, but the first part was he tried to deflect the puck in on the short side. Potvin made the save. The puck went up in the air. The goaltender loses sight of it. Now, here's the first. See, he just tried to tip it in off his left shoulder, and Potvin doesn't know where it goes. It hits him in the numbers on the back of his jersey and goes into the net. What an odd goal that was. Look at Potvin. Has no idea where the puck is.
Number 89,
there it bounces off his...
Good defensive play by Dave Andrechuk. Took it away from Mandeville, and the puck is cleared. Alexander Mogilny, one-on-one, and Alex Mogilny pulled down. No call.
Bob Rouse, pretty good play by the Leaf defenseman. And right here, he trips him up. See that with the right skate? Another subtle move, and Morel...
Rouse from behind. Mogilny in pursuit. Schmeling, low shot in front. Mogilny backhand. It goes to the right side of the net. Mogilny at center. Anderson awaits it right. Mogilny pulled down from behind. Schmeling from the right.
This season, Mogilny made up his mind and publicly committed himself to be the player everyone expected him to be. He's not disappointing anybody now. Mogilny's on track to shatter the Sabres' single-season scoring record held by Danny Gare with 56 goals. Now, Mogilny finds himself torn between success and notoriety.
I hope people don't realize how many goals I score, and it's trying to have it in the back of my mind. Things like, oh, maybe a couple tonight. I hope they won't notice me.
Why? Why so modest?
I don't know. I'm not ready for this yet, I guess.
He's the fourth fastest to 50 goals, this Mogilny. Only Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux have gotten there in fewer games played in a season. To date, Buffalo has played 55, but Mogilny has suited up for only 48 of them, scoring 54 goals total.
Check that on the starting goaltender for Hartford, Mario Gosselin. In his second game, as Alexander Mogilny nets the goal.
I mean, he looks fast. Like,
Ruutu plays it to Housley, and here's a breakaway. Mogilny going right in and goal. Shoots.
Pointer. Fuhrer clears it. Lead pass intended for Mogilny. He'll go after it and straight out takes it. Just to the right side of the Sabres net. Fast-skating Mogilny. Veering in, and LaFontaine looks.
This is obviously after the injury with Vancouver. He looks even faster by the time. I guess it's the angle that he's skating off the boards.
Puck into the ab zone.
Also, if you try to do this nowadays with players, you'd notice that everyone is faster, right? No, wrong. Actually, it's because the neutral zone is smaller. In Mogilny's time, it was 58 feet. In 98-99, still in Mogilny's time, it changed to 54 feet. Then it changed to 50 feet, which is what it is now, in 2005-06. In my Burry vs. McDavid video, I did a conversion on this, but I don't feel like doing that now, so...
It's really a simple game. You shoot, you score. And Alexander Mogilny has been doing plenty of both lately.
You try to find the right spot, Sometimes I used to pass it a lot, to my partners, and now just trying to let it go, sometimes because the goalie not expecting that from me, and it's working,
At times, his talent just takes over and makes a mockery of the Muckler system.
Sometimes you can get away with it, Sometimes you just because you playing on the ice, you read the situation, and sometimes you just say, what the hell? Let's see what happens,
Flicking it back down to the Bruins zone. A skate race between Sweeney and Mogilny, who goes down hard, and he is slow in getting up. Oh, Alexander Mogilny took a strange dive down to the ice surface, and he is in big-time pain.
In Canucks' second period, Alexander Mogilny pokes his stick to jar the puck loose, recovers. He's going all the way.
You can make a case that he's as fast after his broken leg. In fact, he broke his leg twice. The second one, I believe, was the more serious one.
Howard Chuck feeding Mogilny, taking the shot, score!
4.7 seconds left on the clock. What a great pass from Dale Hawerchuk. He's really fought the puck here tonight, though, John. He made a mistake on the first goal and Mogilny's goal.
Here's Mogilny again with a slap shot, scores! Off the puck, Oates from the boards, digging it out in front. LaFontaine beats Mogilny, skating in on board, score! Moving the puck just to the left side of the Sabres net. Himmelda tipping it up to Mogilny, breaking in on Andy Moore to the backhand, scores! Botter at his own line, back up to LaFontaine. Over to Bradman, Mogilny with a shot, score! Mogilny!
If you have just joined us and are looking for Alexander Mogilny, he was taken from the ice and into the hospital with a badly damaged right ankle. We haven't had the final assessment of his injury, but that's where Mogilny is. In the second period, Alexander Mogilny left the ice, taken to hospital with a suspected broken ankle.
Bellows goes to the net, and Mogilny, watch his ankle, or you see his right knee and leg buckle back.
And I don't know if he ever returned quite to that level, albeit in a slightly more defensive NHL. He still hit the 50-goal plateau with the Vancouver Canucks in 95-96.
Here comes Linden. He came out of that change, and he's up there now. Mogilny's up there too. Scores! Lume! Lume with the shot, Mogilny with the tip, and that's 50 for Mogilny. Watch Alec Mogilny. There he goes. He's watching the puck. It's the perfect way to tip it.
It never really came to fruition. It was unfortunate because the next season Burry came back and he was on and off the whole season.
Round left side, a shot by Burry. Save made, rebound, score! Jyrki Lume. The rebound. Oh, no question. The Canucks did have a man in the crease there when that puck was shot in. That goal may not count. Do here. We're going to disallow. See what I mean?
The reason Burry didn't do well in 96-97 most likely is because he had whiplash due to this cross-check in the first game of the season, in which the guy didn't even get a penalty. Could you imagine this happening to McDavid? This guy would be suspended, like, without question.
McDavid to the net. Poke check by Elliott. Penalty shot.
Mogilny was still okay, I guess, but yeah, definitely a downgrade from the previous season. There were coaching changes, Tom Rennie. I mean, everyone hated him. It just seemed like nobody could play under this guy. He was fired early the next season, and Mike Keenan came in. Mogilny played not too bad points per game-wise, but he only played a little over half a season, and then Burry was gone. Mogilny still had some success with Vancouver, but it was really becoming minimal with injuries on and off, and finally he got shipped to the Devils, where he had a lot more success.
Got away from Lyashenko, not completely.
Played through adversity, came through when it mattered to win the Stanley.
Let's go back upstairs to Gary Thorne.
The cup continues to be skated. The New Jersey Devils.
They were up 3-0 against Florida, and they gave up 2 quick ones, and a team with a fragile psyche. They found a way to win that one. And
here's the story. Everybody says they're faster. They're not faster. You put guy for guy, they're not faster. They're bigger and they're stronger. That was the deal. Bigger and stronger. They could bull their way in the corners, and they dumped the puck in all the time. And the other team, Dallas, tried to carry it in. As soon as you got the red line, in, and away you go. And that's what you do. Isn't this great?
Yes.
It makes it all worthwhile right here.
Out there with the puck, though. Rapolsky starts ahead and hands on to Breland, then back on to Mogilny. Mogilny crosses, shoots, score! Oh, what a ripper! 25 for Canadians, moving up quickly. Ahead now, Mogilny. Save, rebound, score!
He still looked like one of the best players in the league for New Jersey, winning a cup and then getting to the finals again, to lose to Colorado in 2001, and then to play with Toronto and still be one of their best players for a couple of years.
And he'll be out in 10 seconds. 2-2 try.
Mogilny even got to reunite with his former coach from Vancouver, Pat Quinn.
Gets a goal quickly off the draw, but it's
Wide over to Howard Chuck. Working with the puck to the top of the slot. Savona lets it go to LaFontaine. Back over to Alexander Mogilny. Dave Andrechuk, and they score! Freaks in from the right side. Weeks coming up with a couple of saves. Mogilny leaving it back to LaFontaine. To Andrechuk, he scored! Hang on to it. Mogilny down to LaFontaine. He scored!
For LaFontaine, he scored!
They're on the power play. Mogilny down low. Look at this pass. You got the great view of it. Mogilny to Randy McKay. He stuffs it in. That's a big league goal. It's 4-3.
with Mogilny. In for Mogilny! Scores! Mogilny, Sundin, and Tucker. Down low, Tucker. Back to Mogilny. Doesn't shoot it to Sundin. Scores!
Some people, I emphasize some people, make a case that Mogilny was the best Canuck. I would say most complete Canuck player. And I think in a lot of cases he was. It's hard even for me and people who know him well to say that, because of course he didn't play a lot and he wasn't able to do as much as he could have.
As he passes off to Naslund, down to Mogilny. Score! What a start for
Good enough.
1-0 Canucks. Here's Ethel, Marcus Naslund, and watch right here. On the backside, that was Alexander Mogilny that spot Zettel open on the 3-on-2.
Takes him out of the play. Mogilny comes up with it. Gives to Ronning. Ronning slings by Fraser, gets it ahead to Mogilny. Mogilny.
Even in a few years that he was here, most of them were really inconsistent and injury riddled and other problems.
Puck between his legs, and Alexander Mogilny gets his 19th goal of the year. Look how he pushes the puck ahead, jumps over the stick of Krupa, and he's home free and makes no mistake, getting a shorthanded goal for the Vancouver Canucks.
And he's going to skate off as you see him there in the tunnel near the Canucks dressing room, adjusting his equipment. He went into the boards after the goal was scored, and he's in a little pain back there.
Like, for example, in the beginning of 1997-98, he held out for about 15 games until Tom Rennie was fired.
Short-handed, and Mogilny, when he gets this kind of separation, you're not going to catch him. 301st NHL goal, 4th of the year. Ties it at 1. Some emotion from Mike Teenan.
Out to Lume, to Messier. Side of the net, Mogilny, hard passing, but they score! Pavel Bure ties it at 1.
His next great achievement occurred in his new home as the Canucks captain reached a special milestone against the...
Knocked down by... Oh, the right! This right! Knocked down by yes. LaFontaine crisscrosses. Mogilny with the scores again. Alexander Mogilny.
I can't believe how this guy shoots a puck. My goodness. Watch this rocket as he uses a defenseman as his might. I can't believe he shoots a puck that hard from a wrist shot. I've never seen anyone shoot the puck that hard.
They get 1-0 Montreal. Haller and Dion Drew assists. Here's Mogilny's shot. He scores! Mogilny shot one as he turned, and from 30 feet, maybe a little better than that. Watt couldn't stop it.
Well, Mogilny's got the great wrist shot. If you give him a little time and a little space, he's going to make a good play. His wrist shot was clocked at 87 miles an hour when they were doing the all-star shot timing. And this one, as he fought off a Montreal checker, was not an 87-mile-an-hour shot, but it was where it had to be to win.
It's deflected to the corner. Mogilny, one of the 17-year-olds on the Soviet team, takes the bump in the corner. Over to the other side.
No way! Score over here! There's absolutely no way. As a matter of fact, they don't know how to deal with it even. They don't know how to deal with a situation like this. Huh. This is an unbelievable scene. They're trying to maintain order. The officials down there now in the penalty box area are calling for the officials of the tournament as to how to deal with it. You'll notice the clock shut off. The clock shut off and sent back to 0.
Going to reach out and shove the linesman Dan Schultz in the face. A 10-game suspension today. The second recent 10-game suspension handed out by the NHL.
Alexander Mogilny. Police in Buffalo have arrested a Russian who allegedly threatened to shoot and stab Mogilny unless he paid him $150,000. Sergei Pavlovsky helped Mogilny defect from Russia, and after Mogilny told police about the threat, they arrested Pavlovsky and an accomplice outside the Sabres locker room after Friday's game.
A former Russian business associate who helped Mogilny defect to the U.S. threatened to end his career yesterday.
I try to become, just think as much as I can what I should say and what should I do,
Erie County Sheriff and Amherst police officials say 30-year-old Sergei Pavlovsky followed Mogilny from practice to this Amherst restaurant where he attempted to extort money from Mogilny.
He asked him for $150,000 and told him that if he didn't give him the money, that he was going to shoot him or stab him in his legs.
Authorities say Mogilny promised Pavlovsky the cash and immediately contacted police. Amherst Police, the Sheriff's Department, and officials from the Sabres and NHL teamed up to make an arrest. Authorities say Pavlovsky and another Russian snuck through the back doors inside the Odd last night and made their way to a security area close to the dressing room. Once outside the locker room, Pavlovsky apparently was waiting to collect the money from Mogilny. Instead, the two men were nabbed by authorities. Pavlovsky was arraigned today on charges of attempted grand larceny and criminal trespassing in Amherst court.
There's a complaint that was lodged against you, it's called a felony, of attempted grand larceny in the second degree. It's charging you with trying to obtain money from a person by extortion, more particularly an individual by the name of Alexander Mogilny, stating that you attempted to extort $150,000 from him. You need an attorney. This is a charge which carries with it a possible jail term of 7 years. Do you understand that?
Of what?
7 years.
What for?
For the accusation that is here.
Pavlovsky is being held at the Erie County Holding Center. Bail's been set at $100,000. Meantime, Mogilny was back on the ice today at Saberland.
Oh, I don't think that person realized what he was saying, and I don't think he realized how serious it can turn out against him.
And he missed it. Gilmore with a chance off the post, and he's hit hard. Mogilny belted Gilmore into the boards, and Gilmore is steamed and wants a piece of Mogilny, who's quite willing and able, it seems, to take on Gilmore.
Gilmore really
came back at him.
Gilmore really went into those boards hard, though, with that left shoulder.
Loses the puck, but Niedermeyer gets it. A shot, deflects, knocked down, hits the crossbar, and they score on the second effort.
Scott Stevens came in. Here's the original shot here. McKay right in front. Now, did this go in? No, it hit the crossbar. And there's Mogilny right there behind. He digs it out.
and he's able to put it in, but his stick got broken as he, I believe, shot the puck here. Look at this here. He got it, and there, his stick snapped right at the end. And that's why Mogilny is so good.
Terrible giveaway by Mirnov.
Goal number 5 on the season for Wayne Presley, and his 4th in the last 9 games. Mogilny in a race with Newman. Newman was driven into the corner boards by Mogilny, and the best Jets defenseman is laying on the ice.
Boy, Mogilny could get the gate for this one. It was more of a steer job than a hit from behind, but the officials have been very tough, at least the regular officials, on these kinds of plays. Mogilny first tried to beat him in a foot race to the puck to take the icing away. And then when he couldn't win the race, at the last second, he accelerated the speed of Newman to about 250 miles an hour over a short 4-foot course, and Newman went into the boards and is very slow to get up.
The Jets, no doubt, asking for a major penalty.
The referee now, you wonder whether he's talking to Wally Harris or not. Here's the play. You can see Newman wins the race. And it wasn't a hit from behind, a body check from behind. It was a shove from behind, and Newman couldn't regain his balance. Here it is again. It's not a body check, like he ran him from behind. So it'll be interesting to see how the official sees this. Newman is up and appears to be all right. But by the way Howard Chuck is talking to him, if the 2 minutes is up on the scoreboard,
2 for boarding to Alexander Mogilny.
I think he has to give him that.
Here's LaFontaine to Mogilny. He's got a break. Mogilny shoots. Richter makes the save. He scores! Believe it, another hat trick. Alexander the Great. Oh, is he a red hot Russian? And Buffalo leads at 6-2.
Rick Jennerup was the longest tenured play-by-play announcer with a single team in NHL history. He started in 1971-72, ending his career after the 2021-22 season. You don't hear him much on the Mogilny calls because he only did radio. Until 95-96, which was the season Mogilny moved to Vancouver.
Standing at a head to him, left, coming away with Mogilny. He's got a break. Mogilny going ready to go. No wonder they call him Alexander the Great. And Buffalo a power play goal to tie it at 1.
He was one of the greatest guys, most misunderstood players that ever passed through Vancouver. Al Mogilny was a wonderful guy. A real thinker.
Terrific player.
A great personality that he never wanted anybody to really see, but really looked after the young guys on the team when they came in, really cared about his team. Just all of the things you would like in a great player who was a fantastic hockey player, right there at the level with Pavel Bure for a time, but completely misunderstood because he didn't want to be a public figure.
No, okay, you're not going to intimidate any of us tonight. Went over to Brashear and took an unnecessary penalty. Lume manages to keep it onside. Mogilny scores! Break from the face-off. Good job by Messier. And a better job by Lume. Force Mirnov can't quite get to it. Messier to Mogilny and a quick wrist shot. Hooper's going down, and you can see Cujo there. Murray from the corner looks back to the point, but controls himself. Across to Olin, and Olin fans initially in the shot, the rebound, and Messier knocks it in. Really gets trapped high, and it's a 2-on-0 in front of Curtis Joseph. There's Mogilny, he's all by himself, and then there's Mark Messier, and he's by himself. And oh boy, if they go upstairs on this one, Mark might be in the crease before the puck gets there. There's a pass to Mogilny, tips it home. Oh, that's going to be a close one. Are we going upstairs? No. And I don't think they should on that one. That didn't matter. He wasn't interfering with the goaltender, and in it goes. It was off Joseph to Messier, and Messier chips it in.
Aerodov at the line, slaps it in. Now here's a 2-on-1. Mogilny coming in, gets it across, they score! Brian Wooden.
Doug Wade took the gamble at the blue line. He
tied the game 2-2. How many times is Alexander Mogilny going to do this?
Dennis Commodus, Skagit. Suddenly to me, Alexander Mogilny gets it backhand, shot, score!
Alexander Mogilny with the puck left side, and he scores! The number shot scores! Oh, you never can tell.
Mogilny, 49. He's got 49. What a great play again. LaFontaine getting the puck to Mogilny, and Mogilny uses his quickness to get in position to score. Here's the pinch along the boards by LaFontaine. Look at Mogilny use his body to shield off Paul Broughton. Oh my goodness. We are watching an emerging superstar, folks.
Noonan still in the first 2-0 Avalanche. Alexander Mogilny in the corner feeds Gino Olczyk for the goal. Canucks down by 1.
And it's the extra man behind the net. Tikkanen looks, centers it. It comes all the way out. Right side. There's a shot. Right to the stop. Rebound. Mogilny gets the goal. And the Canucks
Mogilny again, more times yelling out on Mogilny. Mogilny's 26th goal of the year.
Well, we're not going to see the pass on this angle, but there's the shot that goes between the legs.
Couldn't get set up in time. Schmeling, slow shot, scores! Richard Schmeling. And I believe the tip-in will go to Mogilny.
I just came over because I felt like it.
No, he can do lots of things. He can score lots of goals. That's what he did. And he can play very fancy, you know, for the fans. He's a great player.
He's very talented, and as he proved, he can score a lot of goals in this league, and he can dominate this league, and so far, it's so good.
Now does so. Mogilny trying to get around Bodger. This will draw a penalty on Doug Bodger, and that was a good penalty for San Jose. Otherwise, Mogilny would have cruised on in front of Terreri.
Well, Bure has such great acceleration, and when he's crossing over, he's gaining speed. And so through the neutral zone, he loves to cut to the middle, so the stick of Bodger's in the middle. Now, that stick's hardly doing anything, but...
When I was younger, I really mirrored my game off Pavel Bure. Of course, Mogilny became a Canuck a few years later, and he was like my second favorite player. I mean, Trevor Linden was kinda. But anyway, often people would literally call me Pavel Bure because of the moves I would try to make. After a while, it got kinda like I didn't want people to call me that because I didn't want to be thought of as this big show-off. And Mogilny, as fancy as he was a little more casual than Bure. I remember asking people to call me Mogilny, I guess, for a while there. And this one time we were playing hockey and this guy said, "Oh, hey, it's Bure." And I kind of looked at him and he's like, "Oh, I mean Mogilny." And I was like, "That's right."
And the Red Wings will clear. Pavel Bure. Right onto the tape of Mogilny, splitting the seam, shooting, Osgood save. Where is it? Back in the line of Mertz, a delayed penalty against the Red Wings. Rebound, Bure, that's stopped. Mogilny, back door, comes out front, and finally, Detroit touches it. Baby. They're calling a penalty shot. No, come on. Pointed to center ice. Huh? He pointed to center ice. For what? We got to see this again. This could be a penalty shot. Yes, it is. Well, let's have a look. Why is he calling the penalty shot? Throwing a stick, maybe? Well, I don't think it's for that. Well, it must be.
McDavid to the net. Oh, checked by Elliott. Penalty shot.
He must have thought he got a shot away, though. He got a shot away. I mean, normally, Mick, it's if you don't get a shot. I know, and I've seen guys that were clearly in behind the defense by 2 or 3 strides get hooked and not have a penalty shot called. And the hand's up already on the referee over on the left side, you see. So, yes, indeed, it's a 1-1 game, and we've got a penalty shot, and it'll be Alexander Mogilny against Chris Osgood here in a second or two. Steve Yzerman talking to Dvorsky, saying, how can you call a penalty shot? Good question. On this. In hockey, and here we go. Here's Alexander Mogilny, one-on-one against Osgood. Shooting, scores! 2-1 Canucks. So make that 11 shots and 7 goals. Well, a good quick shot by Mogilny before Osgood could get set. The goaltenders wait for the shooter to make a move and vice versa.
Today, Alexander's homeland has changed. The Soviet Union is gone. Was there a chance that Mogilny, a defector, could return?
Someday I had to come back here because this is my home country.
It was very scary at first, but my heart and soul told me that my child will come back in spite of everything, and all of it came true. But my soul also told me that the child will also come back to his home.
In November, a break developed. Former Soviet players, now in the NHL, were going back home for an exhibition series. Alexander wondered, should he go too? He was technically still a wanted man. What if authorities arrested him getting off the plane? He made a tough choice. He went.
I didn't know what to expect. I was really nervous, to be honest, really. I didn't know what to expect because it's been almost 6 years.
This is just how nervous the players were. They started the tour with bodyguards. The authorities were there all right, but to welcome, not arrest them. Reporters couldn't wait to hear what they had to say. The NHL All-Stars brought a gift Russian hockey fans loved, the reunited line of Pavel Bure, Sergei Fedorov, and Alexander Mogilny, three of the best who left on their own terms. There were gifts and banquets and receptions and more gifts and ceremonies and still more gifts. Even President Yeltsin came to greet them. The players were back, and they were welcome.
They are worthy of returning as heroes back to their homeland and play together.
It's a beautiful people here. You know, they've been suffering for 75 years, you know, under communist regime, you know, and that's probably why, but they got so much warm in their heart.
It came full circle at their very first game. Alexander, the goal scorer for the medal-winning '88 Olympic team, one of the first to flee the Soviet system, scored the first goal of the homecoming series. He had returned home.
I feel like I opened another door ahead of me, so I can go there anytime I want and be welcome.
Mogilny was held out of the Hockey Hall of Fame for a long time. A lot of people don't know what it was other than his association with the KHL, owning some team, maybe ties to the KGB or something. I don't know. But eventually he was.
Lindros back on the ice. First shifts and just took one on the button from Steve Kelly. In front, shot, score! It's Alexander Mogilny, finally!
Mogilny won a Stanley Cup in 2000 with the New Jersey Devils, and I always remember the news reporter, some American, I believe, who said, how does it feel to win the Stanley Cup? You haven't been to the finals since you were in 1994 with the Vancouver Canucks. And instead of being modest about it like a lot of people, Mogilny, often very blunt and straightforward, responded by saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I was not with Vancouver in 1994. There are some Toronto fans and even players. I think Sundin said that Mogilny was the best player he ever played with, and he played with Joe Sakic, right? And Peter Forsberg. And this was a post-prime Mogilny. Hope you enjoy the video of this. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Also, with the story of his defection, you'll notice a link that goes to the video on that. You should watch that.
Here's Ambrichuk with the pass over, missed by Mogilny right to the goal crease, and Reese makes the save. Ambrichuk was looking for Mogilny. Here's Mogilny, he takes control. Here's Mogilny, gets it back now to Turgeon. The drive, he scores! Snuggeroo! And the Sabres have opened up a 2-goal lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs with some excellent play by Alexander Mogilny.
Steals the puck inside the Leaf zone as he strips it from Gill. Now watch the Leafs. They just skate right by him. And Mogilny will put it to Turgeon. And here's the shot by Snuggerud that goes in on the short side.
Then now recovered, knocked into the Toronto zone. Ramage. Oh, and here's Mogilny. Lost control. Mogilny gets it over. They score! Turgeon! A short-handed goal for the Buffalo Sabres. Now, good move there by Turgeon. He'll give it to Mogilny and over the Toronto line. Mogilny lets the shot go, gloved by Reese. He sends it up to McGuire. Out comes to Tampus. He'll get in over the Buffalo blue line with McGuire. Tried to let the shot intercepted by Turgeon. He'll slide it through now to Ledger. There's Mogilny breaking it over the line. Going in and goal. Shooting. He scores!
To his left. Now watch Mogilny. Looks to his left and shoots it. He had the goaltender, Reese, leaning.
Giving it to Mogilny. He'll slide it to Turgeon. Back to Mogilny. Into the Toronto zone. Oh, he had to wait for Snuggerud to come back onside. Now Snuggerud steps back over the Toronto blue line. Now Mogilny. He tried to give it to Turgeon. Right back to Mogilny. Into the Toronto horse. Mogilny trying to get in on goal. He's hit and knocked down. He gets it back in. A loose puck in front, went off the skate of Kennedy. Here goes Mogilny. Mogilny's got a breakaway. Mogilny going right in and goal. Back to Mogilny.
How quickly Mogilny gets away. Boy, he sees the opportunity and he is gone. And there you see Turgeon. Mogilny sees him. Now the goaltender knows that this puck is coming back. Look at that. He's ready for that pass. His pads. Talking about perfect sync. Look at that.
Now 35 seconds remaining. Oh, here's Mogilny. He scores! Mogilny!
Winning it 6-5. LaFontaine finding Mogilny. The connection is made. Mogilny stop rebound. Bookaboo.
Oh boy, Bookaboo shot it right in his own net. He shot it right in his net. And Mogilny gets credit for his 6th NHL hat trick. Now Mogilny is being cut off as he has to shoot the puck. And right here, Bookaboo shoots it in off the goalpost. And again, the sombreros and hats come onto the ice. What a great shot by Bookaboo as it caught just inside the goalpost.
We had a couple 2-on-1s out there and short-handed ones. I mean, puck just had a bad bounce there on them, and we made them pay for that, short-handed. And a couple other times we had 2-on-1s, but other than that, we didn't have much. And there's a good defensive club out there, so we're lucky to get one here.
You look like you really wanted that empty netter when you missed the first chance on your backhand.
Well, you know how difficult when goalie in there, so you got to take it when goalie's not out there.
How important is Eddie Belfour to this Toronto team, Alex?
Well, he's been huge for us all season. You know, he's our MVP, and everybody knows that. So outplay badly tonight. Shots like 2-1, and I mean, what can you say? He's an old man out there in the net. He's better than ever.
Don't tell him you were asking for him.
Natural hat trick.
Who notched a third-period hat trick in a span of just 4 minutes, 42 seconds.
A big night for Alexander Mogilny.
That was a big night for the Buffalo Sabres in front of a packed house here, trying to get things going, trying to gear the team up.
That first shift, there have been ups and downs to be sure. But this season, despite a 10-game suspension, Mogilny has 61 points. Much of his success can be attributed to a new playmaking center in Buffalo, Pat LaFontaine.
Well, Petty's a good player.
Shot, he scores! Alexander Mogilny on the short side, and we've got a tie hockey game.
Ronning goes after it. Finley stays with him. Gemma can't get loose. It goes to Ronning. Now to Mogilny to take it in. The save, I believe, by Havabola. The skate is out of the zone. Freezes up. Alexander Mogilny again, a defenseman pitching in and got caught. Shot wide on the short side. Niedermeyer was up pitching in. Now the long shot. Score! Deflected in front of wall and knocked in. Might have been Adam Foote.
Here's how it all started. Mogilny's going to get it at the point. Watch Messier come out and try and block it. He misses it. Nobody takes Breland, and Breland very nicely tips it. The two Avalanche defensemen stood there and watched instead of tying Breland up.
Who else but Alexander Mogilny stole the show? With the game against Hartford tied at 2 and less than 1 minute remaining in the third period, Alex netted his 50th goal of the season to lead the Sabres to a 3-2 victory.
Kicking it. Owsley intercepted by LaFontaine, regaining control. It's to Mogilny. Himmeleth falling down, and as I was going against Sweeney, who also carries quite a smirk. LaFontaine shooting it at Howard Chuck. Looking for the setup, Mogilny. The teasing move there behind the Jets net. Gaining control. Howard Chuck, top of the slot. Bodger, LaFontaine. Shot wide. Rebound, Howard Chuck. Sabres with a two-man advantage. Score is tied at 1. Here in the first, Mogilny scores!
There, and it's kicked away by Hirsch. Mogilny with it for Vancouver. Gains the line. Here's Mogilny's shot! Up over the line. Drops a shot. Oh, and a save by Belfour. The right pad went out and stopped that one. It's centered again. Belfour again stops it. Point blank. That shot. 2 big ones by Belfour.
Ohne Glück, Alex Mogilny bringt die Sabres in Führung mit einem Powerplay-Tor nach 3 Spielminuten.